Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend D.G. Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Capes and Lunatics. This is a big one. No, not because Rob is here. No, we are joined by Mr. Todd Stashwick himself, straight off of Picard Season 3. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Or should I say Captain?
Yeah, you should.
Okay.
It's in my rider.
Yes, sir. Okay, before we jump into this, personally, I just want to say not only thank you for giving us your time today, but I did talk to you back in 2014 when you were on Gotham. Shut up, Rob. When you were on Gotham, and you will not know this, but you were my first interview ever.
What?
Yes. And I just want to...
Impressive.
Yes. And I
could break your cherry.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Again, you always remember your first. This man was great. I know.
Was I gentle?
Again, yes, exactly. I was only podcasting a few months, and I was probably all and this man treated me like I was a professional, and he was nice and kind.
Look at you now, Phil.
I know. Now I get to work with the likes of that guy. But I just wanted to say,
you're on my network then.
I know. Oh, yes. Yeah. Like I said, it was just within the first year. It was only a few months in. Yeah. But yes, Todd treated me so nice and kind. Unlike his character on Star Trek Picard, Captain Liam Shaw, who was not nice and kind. Well, at least not in episode 1.
Understandably so.
I know these guys trying to hijack his ship, this old guy and this other guy. And
so I got a question, Todd. The green meat you were eating.
yes, what was that?
It's blue.
It's blue. Okay, well, I got to set the colors on the TV. But my question is actually, how much of that crap did you have to eat? Because you were, as I always did, I always ate whatever was in front of me.
Because you're a good boy from the Midwest.
And because I think when actors fake it, you can tell. So you were eating that meat. How much of that did you eat?
A bite or two. There was there was two setups, right? So one was all the B-roll of close up on steak going in mouth, close up on cutting steak. So that was a whole separate, thing. And then in the course of the conversation, I think I took one bite, and it was mostly wine. And I think they happened to use a take where I had taken the one bite.
Ah, okay.
Is that a challenge for an actor trying to get your lines out while you have food in your mouth? And
well, no, I mean, I've been talking with food in my mouth since time immemorial, because I'm a pig. No, I've often, it's not something we all do it, and we're all horribly unmannered, unwashed humans who talk with food in our mouths, so it wasn't that hard. That was a very long-winded answer to your very simple question.
I figured you'd go none, and then we're done, But,
done. Nope, I had things to say.
Yeah, apparently.
so I hope that was just food coloring and it wasn't actually blue
It's
meat.
space meat, Phil.
Okay, I'm sorry.
From
Well, they call
Lack of oxygen, yeah.
Do they call it space meat? If they're in space, don't they just call it meat? And wouldn't you be
Nope.
space captain then to them?
Yep, I am.
Okay.
I'm space captain.
Did you get your choice of space meat, or was it just this is what we have?
That's it's the space meat that I wanted. I ordered the space meat that I wanted, and I got it.
Oh, nice.
They're like, oh, he called it space meat. Give him that blue stuff.
Well,
so,
that's what space meat is. What color is space meat to you?
My TV's off, so it was green.
Fair enough.
So I got a question about your beard.
Yeah.
Not the beard now, but you were Rikering that beard pretty hard as Shaw.
It was a lot thicker.
Yeah, was that a decision on your part? Like, I want to Riker this beard, or did they say, look, Gray Boy,
you can have a beard off.
Riker this up.
I think right now it's super short. I think because when my beard grows in, it's a little darker on one side, and I have these little patches of dark here, and I think we just kind of even it out.
Yeah.
And to your point, I think there was this. Well, Riker has a full, pretty much gray beard. Let's do something so that when the cosplay starts, people don't just think it's old Riker.
Yeah, they're like, oh, look, it's another Riker. It's like, no, I'm Shaw. Oh.
No, I'm hoping to God there's cosplay, and I'll be able to identify it because it'll have the dark hue.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm hoping there's cosplay, and you have a Borg thing on your head, and I'm like, oh, Todd got to be a Borg.
It'll be a mashup.
That would be sweet.
Don't mention Borg. His character does not seem to like anyone, former Borg, anything to do with the Borg.
Who would?
These fancy men crashing ships and
she turned on you,
Borgs. Man. Oh yeah, first chance
Direct
she got.
Order.
I'm telling you, hashtag shot is right.
So they announced pretty early on season 3 was coming, right? This was around the time season 2 was coming out, wasn't it? So did you?
Back to back.
Okay. Oh, so you had to hold on to the secret for a while, didn't you?
A year.
Oh. And I mean, you're a fan of Trek, just like the rest of us. It's like, was that the hardest secret you kept? One of the hardest secrets you've kept?
When I got the part, I looked at him and said, "Spoilers."
La 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 la. No, Todd, really, read the script. La 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 la.
No, I don't want to know. Yeah, I had to sit on it for a year. It was the granddaddy of secrets. I mean, I've been fortunate that in my career I've dabbled in other major IPs that I've had to sit on, but this was a big one for a very long time.
So now you just run around going, "I'm a Star Trek captain," right?
Pretty much.
I'll walk down the street and I'll go, "Shot!" Thank you. Everywhere I go.
He's got the T-shirt. Hashtag Shaw was right.
Hashtag Shaw was right.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. How is the big chair?
It's like a sports car. Those the bucket seats in the on the Titan are like.
Oh.
It's like you're doing the Grand Prix. It's really great.
I gotta say, man, the design on the Titan is absolutely. Oh my God, it's maybe the best one. Like I'm just staring at it. In love with it. It also
I love it.
Had a flavor of the TARDIS. Did you get that when you were watching it? Like the design at the top, I was like, oh, this.
Oh,
I'm
interesting. Yeah,
getting a little TARDIS action here.
Obviously, that wasn't intentional, and it certainly has the pizza cutter look. What I love about it, and I have it tattooed.
Very nice
on my arm. This is my Metalis crest. So you got my monkey from 12 Monkeys. And then my badge and my pips, and then the Titan doing the round, the Delta.
Beautiful.
I love its sort of like shoulder, like it's a beefy kind of humpback whale shoulders. It's got a very muscular forward, like a bull charging. I love that. But I also love that it smacks of the Constitution class. From up there, there she is.
There it is, beautiful,
nice.
That's the original, and my heart beats for the original Enterprise. Those lines are embedded in my little nerd brain, and so when I was first shown like the art of the Titan, I was like, oh, it's like taking me back to the Wrath of Khan and that shape of ship. I love when Riker goes, "No one wants the fat ones." about the Galaxy class. Yeah, she's so the Titan's really lean and apparently, much like the Millennium Falcon, the fastest ship in the galaxy.
Or at least you're going to lie and say that, right?
No, that's literally that's literally in the description that she is the fastest ship in the fleet.
Why do you think they wanted to hijack it, Rob?
Right?
True. I guess I wasn't paying attention.
So how do you guys know each other?
I used to work on his podcast network, right?
Yeah, I own a podcast network. You know that. And then, actually, it was Lilith who also was on the show that you, I believe, guested on, Todd. Lilith was on a different network. They got rid of her and her partner. They came to us. They had met us, and they asked if they could be on our network. We said yes. And then she said, hey, you want to do a show about Gotham? And that was my tribute to Phil. And
are you from Baltimore?
No, I'm in Pittsburgh.
Philadelphia. Yeah. That's
yeah, so he's got that accent. Yeah.
I was hearing it.
Yes, not the pureness of that Illinois, Chicago. Yes.
Right. And she said, there's this guy that I know that is really into this, and I took him on, put him under my wing, and now he owns a network. And actually, Todd, you want to hear something crazy? I do a show on his network now. Nuts. I know. Mind blown.
And then the student becomes the boss.
Yes.
Snatch the pebble from my hand.
Skadoosh. Yeah, I actually, that's called the third best Southgate because, as always,
after his wife
I'm the
and
bottom
daughter.
of the heap.
Yes.
Aww.
Yeah, well, when my parents were around, I was third best, and now I've got a wife and daughter. I'm third best here. I know you know the feeling.
You're number one Southgate in my book.
Oh, thanks, Todd. You're my number one Stashwick. You were my Stashwick first. See?
Rob's daughter is very smart. Meanwhile, I don't know if Rob put pants on today.
I am wearing
pants.
pants.
Are for chumps.
The tyranny of pants. So, Todd, how was it working with Sir Patrick Stewart?
Oh, I want to know this.
Sir Patrick Stewart.
Rings a bell.
Sean Luke.
He had the mask on. He was shooting. Oh, you weren't in that scene.
Oh!
He was wonderful. He was absolutely wonderful. He, filled with wonderful stories, and he's an actor boy. Like, we have this idea that he's, Sir Patrick Stewart, but he's like an actor boy. He likes to joke around. He likes a buoyant set. He likes to, when we're in between takes, he likes to engage. He likes to share stories. He's a lot of fun and very disarming. It wasn't intimidating. It was very warm. And I was, a story that I've shared is there's a moment where we were in between takes, and I'm sitting in my captain's chair, and Patrick's next to me, and Brent Spiner comes over and he starts horsing around with Patrick, and Patrick stands up and goes, "Oh, have you met Todd Stashwick?"
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, nice.
And I just walked off into the sea.
That's like getting knighted. Yeah.
And then he realized cool. Patrick Stewart stole his wallet, so it
tarnished
it a little bit.
But there was lots of candy charges on my credit card. He just loves his gummy
Is he a
bear.
candy guy?
No, I don't know. I just made that up.
Come on.
I just made that up.
I mean, I don't know how spoilery you can get, but did you get to do scenes with the entire cast of The Next Generation?
I did get to I without too many spoilers. Yes.
Oh.
I did get to work with everybody at some point.
Now, I have one that is not spoilery, but it's something I'm dying to know.
Yes.
Captain, did you get to say some of the captainy lines? Because I was watching Jerry Ryan roll them out as they're leaving dock, and I'm like, I turned to my wife. I was like, oh, God, I hope Todd got to say some of this. I hope he got to sit in that chair and say a few lines.
I did get to say captainy things. I did get to say, like, hard starboard, battle stations, comms, helm. I got to do all of the captains.
Oh, I love it.
Nice.
Yeah. And that's like, and the interesting thing is, is that stuff does not, like, I'm so used to doing very, just 2-person, 3-person scenes
Right.
where you're connecting your partner and you do this. But doing that sort of full-throated barking out of orders, I had to sort of watch how Frakes did it and steal from him.
Ah, interesting.
Told you.
He's got, he's got it down too. And so, just how you get to that place that you have that sound of authority, like, I'm a dad. No one listens to me.
Oh, were you talking? I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Did Frakes play his trombone for you?
Oh.
No.
Jerk.
That sounded like a euphemism, but no.
It was.
Then yes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I know. Did you have it in your head the whole time? You're like, oh, it sounds like Kirk, or sounds like Riker, sounds like Picard, sounds like.
No. It's interesting because, somebody said, "What did you look to other captains as your influences?" I was like, no, because he wouldn't have.
No, he would not.
No, and it's just I'm just a human being who's gone through chain of command and eventually ascended in rank till he's a captain. It's not like I studied Kirk. So I had to come at it from the point of view of who my character was and how he approaches things. And this character is a former engineer, and he has a much more blue collar standpoint. And I think there is a line actually down the road where we mentioned that he's from Chicago. So like it's built into the DNA of this character. So if I pulled from anything, it was from my kind of Middle-class Midwest roots.
It was me. You can say it.
I just thought of Rob, and everything else came easy.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I'd get it out of you.
Yeah,
that's how we ate the blue meat.
Yeah. I just do replays of A Christmas Carol,
right?
And I just
you're the one.
I have it on beta, and I'm watching it.
If I had it, it would be on beta.
Yes, as the rabbi from.
Okay, now you're going to go through all that, and as Tevye, and as
I'm just laying out your resume, not mine.
No man. I remember when you were Doc Brown in the variety show. Yeah.
Please.
And then I got to work with Doc Brown on 12 Monkeys.
Oh yeah. Oh no, please,
bro. Did you come out and do the voice? And he went, "Really? Stop it."
Well, he went, "You're the first one to ever imitate me." To me.
That's amazing.
There's a fun story. I was in the lobby of the hotel that we were staying at, and I was there with a fellow actor, Jake Harns, and Chris Lloyd is walking through the lobby, and it's late, and I'm like, oh, I know I'm going to be working with him. They say, great time to sort of break the ice and let's get to know each other.
Yeah,
and I come walking out. I'm like Christopher, Todd Stashwick, we're going to be doing some scenes tomorrow. Why don't you come in and have a beverage with myself? I'm here with Jake Harns. And I got to bring my bag upstairs, and I'm just checking in. I go, they are closing the bar in 5 minutes. And he goes, you're very persuasive. And he just pulled his roller bag right into the bar and ordered a Long Island ice.
It would have been great also if he had said, okie dokie.
Or
that would have.
Yeah, something. Okie dokie. Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
That was fun.
So you mentioned the connection with Chicago with Shaw. Did they give you a lot of backstory for your character? Or?
Yeah, I mean, like with a character, he's a very complex dude, and who's dealing with a lot of past trauma, and it affects his life and the way he works. And we'll peel back the layers of that as the episodes go on. But in order to play that, in order to do that dinner scene, I needed all of that stuff to know why he comes from where he comes from and how he sees the world. So the writers did. They laid out his whole backstory to me before I rolled 1 inch of film, in that we don't shoot on film.
So you're still, because you haven't rolled any film. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So did you remember everything? Did it seem more like you had? Did you like this viewing experience? Because did you film this like a year ago? So is it just like, oh hey, that's right, I remember this now?
No, I mean, look, time is a weird soup, as they say.
Well, anymore, yeah.
And it doesn't feel like it was a year ago. like everything is so compressed now
yeah.
that it's like, oh, that was like, it feels like it was a few months back. And the acceleration of age where everything just is like, what? It's October again. So no, it's pretty fresh. And throughout, as they're finishing post-production, and then you're going in to do ADR, and you're going to do this, and then we're doing press. So it's been a living thing with me. And Terry Metalis is one of my dear friends, so I was able to watch progress and him showing me things as they came together, hearing clips of the music and stuff. So it's been alive for me since, but I stopped shooting February of 2022. Principal photography.
Interesting.
We have a lull.
I'm trying to be the good, quiet co-host.
Since when?
Every show that I get on with Phil, I just steamroller it. It becomes,
he's always name dropping. So for the next probably 2 months, he's going to name drop everyone know I know Todd Stashwick. Yeah.
He does not need to name drop me.
No, I dropped that name a long time ago.
Oh yeah, he dropped the.
So Rob and I, we went to. Did you go to Adams as well?
No, we started in high school together.
Just freshman year of high school.
Yeah, freshman year of high school, and immediately we ended up in. Was that the year that we did the acting class, or was that sophomore year?
Oh, I didn't do.
You weren't in the acting class
until my sophomore year, I think.
I think I was in it then too.
In my drama class.
You know what? You're going to name names, and I'm not going to know them. I have no idea.
Sherry Rock was Miss Bumble in Oliver.
You got me.
I'm trying to think if she was in.
Oh, we were in that class, and I'll tell you how I know. I remember now. You and I improvised. It was the very first time I improvised. We went up on stage. The whole class was sitting there in the theater, and you and I did impressions of everybody in our class.
Todd is everyone's first. Todd is everyone's first.
Do you remember doing this? We just kept running off stage, and we run back on and say a couple lines, and everyone would laugh, and we're like, that was our very first improvising.
That was the first taste, man.
So that was our class, man. That was also, I could give you a time frame for the listener if they want to get a time frame. We were in class the day after had aired on TV.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Everyone was all freaked out, and I remember sitting there with you talking about it.
Yeah.
Talking nerd stuff.
Nerd stuff back then. So we were class of 86.
Yeah. Yep. What?
And Southgate and Stashwick, we were seated near each other.
Oh, yes, that's his.
Todd was actually a very gifted artist as well. He did comic-y, cartoony type drawings. I remember I had one, you had something named Fee that was like a duck.
It was like a platypus.
Yeah, platypus. That was it. And then you drew.
It was just a rip-off of Bloom County.
I did. Yeah, it was. And I did. The first play that I did was Shakespeare, and I played Senior Gremio. That's what I remember.
Midsummer. It was
not Kiss Me, Kate. It's what that's based on. Timmy the Shrew.
It was Timmy the Shrew. Yeah, and
Timmy the Shrew.
The pedant of Padua.
And I
was also Nathaniel.
You were so you I got a big laugh in it. I had 2 lines. I got a big laugh, and you just loved that. I remember you kept talking to me about it, and you drew a caricature of me.
That feels right.
And then I put it up. It was on the fridge my entire high school career. Yep.
That makes my heart happy.
Yeah, man.
Rob. It was one of those things where it was like either Rob was going to get the lead or I was going to get the lead.
Literally.
We kept tag teaming. Projects back and forth. Or he just if he got the lead, I just wasn't in the play.
Right.
Because there was only one part that would have made sense for me to be, and Rob got it.
Literally, we both did that. It was I'm not even. Todd's going for the lead on this one. I'm not even going to do this one. He wants it. Or I know that happened with both of us.
We did Fiddler together.
Yeah, we did Fiddler together. Yeah. Although you did Fiddler, I was a rabbi. I was telling dirty jokes on stage is what I was doing.
It was funny.
That tracks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think Todd wins. I mean, he has this big career, which
not a contest. Though.
I know,
not
but
I've
again,
never had a podcast empire.
He has yet to do a movie with Schwarzenegger, I believe.
Oh yes,
What?
Uh-oh.
I have played a Terminator.
I was just going to say you did play a Terminator. Oh, you win. You win.
And he's
you win this round, Stash.
Elevator dropped on me by Summer Glau.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. If you're going to have an elevator dropped on you, you want someone allowed to do it.
Thank you.
Oh, did I see you made a friend on set? Was it today? I saw you wishing Jerry Ryan a happy birthday on Instagram, I think.
Jerry Ryan. Who was she?
She had the mask. She was shooting. You weren't in that scene.
7 of 9, Annika Hansen. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Jerry. Jerry is. She's a contemporary of ours. Like she's a same birth year.
Oh, is she?
So yep. And so
gotta say, she's aged a lot better than either one of us. So,
notwithstanding,
no offense.
She went to Northwestern, so she's got the Midwest background, and so we connected like we've known each other since college. Yeah.
Sure.
So Jerry is one of my favoritist people that I've worked with. I really, she reminded me a lot of Amanda Schul, who I worked with on 12 Monkeys. Jerry is great. And then we just did the press junket for season 3, and I was paired with Jerry the whole time, and it was like this, where like the interviewer was like, "Oh, I guess
we're never going to get to
anything. We're never going to get to anything of substance because they're just joking around all the time."
Let's get to the hard question here. What was her pizza place in Chicago?
She didn't say.
God damn it!
Never came up.
Rob,
damn it, Todd.
I know. I'm failing you.
Space pizza.
Did hot dogs
Space
come
pizza? They didn't.
That was
did
a
not
euphemism.
come up.
Here.
Whoa.
Yeah, no. Superdog is where it's at, man.
Record.
Superdog's where it's
at. My
at.
husband is a French chef.
Okay, so Superdog.
Yeah. Wiener Circle.
Wiener Circle. You like to get yelled at and have big old cheesy fries. Dog and Sons. How old are you? Jeez. No, man, it's Superdog. I'm all about the Superdog.
Superdog.
Yeah, man.
Superdog.
Superdog and Lou Malnati's. By Lou Malnati's. Yeah, still a Lou's fan.
All right.
I was a Leona's pizza person.
Were you Leona's? Oh, I had it. Oh, see, I blew it. I was gonna make a reference and blow your mind. I was gonna say, hey, I was gonna go rent your show, but I didn't get to watch it. I went over to Jellicoe, and they didn't have it. See, that was where. This is a weird thing that I remembered about you. I remember you would come into. We had gym class together. We had a lot of classes together. We had gym class together, and you would come in and tell me about all the games you rented at Jellicoe. You were renting. What would it have been then? Atari games?
Yeah, it probably would have been. It probably would have been like Cubert.
Yeah. You
or the
like,
Atari 2600.
oh, I was at Jellicoe, and I'm like, what is Jellicoe? Because you were like Hanover Park or something, weren't you?
Hanover Park.
Yeah, so they're going to erect a Shaw statue there. So where the old Venture was. So yeah, I was going to be like, oh yeah, Jellicoe. You told me about it, and I remember I made my parents take me to Jellicoe because you could rent games there. And then I got there, and like any decent game was already gone, so I rented some garbage, and was like, damn it, Todd.
Don't make me drop a Zayers reference.
Venture
and Zayers.
No, the one that gets me is nobody remembers Corvettes. You remember Corvettes?
Like the place or the actual vehicle?
The place. There was a place called Corvettes. My first turntable speaker setup came from Corvettes. And they used to have vinyl albums, right? Everybody had them.
Yeah,
but they were like the precursor to like Kmart. So they had the like the cheaper ass pressings. And I bought all my comedy albums there. My parents let me buy. I mean, I'm like what 10 by Richard Pryor. Oh, I had that was the highbrow stuff. I had those really like cheap ass Richard Pryor ones, Red Fox.
Nice.
My parents let me totally buy all of them, and I'd be like, great. And I got to see Steve Martin live at Harper.
Nice.
Before he was famous.
Steve Martin, did you say?
Steve Martin.
Before he was famous?
He was barely famous.
He was hosting Saturday Night Live in the 70s.
Just before that.
How old were you?
I was a kid. My parents took me. Actually, DCFS should have taken me away. My parents took me to see Steve Martin perform there. Slim Goodbody opened up. Do you remember that dude? Yeah.
That's like a Mad Libs.
It's like
so Slim Goodbody.
It's like
Steve
a fever
Martin.
dream, man. He opened, and then Steve Martin came out. And the thing I remember about Steve Martin, I was really little. My parents said, "Don't repeat what he said." Like he's Mr. Clean, right? But he said a few things. But they after the show, he did 3 hours. I fell asleep. I was a kid. I wake up. He's still going. Show's over. Lights come on. Everyone's heading out to the parking lot. Steve Martin's outside playing his banjo, talking to people still. The guy was unbelievable.
He's King Tut.
This was pre-King Tut? Yeah, man.
I think it's like if you're into the banjo, you have to be into the banjo. You have to love it. It's either like you either do the banjo or you don't do the banjo.
Like him and Ed Helms, they go hard. In
yes.
The banjo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's their thing.
That's their thing.
That's not our identifier, Todd.
No.
So before we run out of time, is there any non-spoilery spoilers you can give us for the rest of the season?
Keep your ears peeled at one point for a nice Trek Deep Cut Easter egg.
I get your point.
An audio cameo.
Ooh.
That's a fun one. It's a very surprising, awesome season. Like, it's a 10-hour movie. As you can maybe get the vibe from episode 1, it's the Wrath of Khan undiscovered Nicholas Meyer treatment of the Next Gen cast, but it's very Terry Metalis. Like, it feels like you could also sort of feel that kind of 12 Monkeys pace and identifiers. It's not a slavish Valentine as much as it is, let's do this in the way that you do this. Like, if you're going in a way that you couldn't have done a TNG show like this until you had those 20 plus years in between.
Right.
And so the great part about it is, like, when you watch Wrath of Khan, and it is about this old seasoned crew that finally gets back together, and you can have that kind of feeling of reunion. When they did the TNG films, it was kind of right on the heels of TNG.
Right,
and
right.
So it was never a reunion. It was just an extension of the show. And now that we've had all this time away, you can get that, oh, it's good to be with these guys again. Look at how much has changed, and let's meet them now in their older years, and how has that changed them? And then to go, all right, well, if we're doing that, let's use the language and building blocks of how Trek does this, and that's the Nicholas Meyer vibe.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Yeah, no. I mean, the only complaint I had about episode 1 is I was like, no, it's over already. We didn't get to see everyone yet. It's like,
we did the premiere at the Chinese, and they showed the first 2 episodes.
Oh.
So it was like a movie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was fun.
Nice. Yeah, it's
fun.
Exceptional. It's a great start. I actually felt like putting it on the shelf until I can binge the whole thing. That's how good it was. I was like, oh, God. But there's no way that's going to happen.
No, you'd get spoiled because people would talk about it. I like the fact that it's a week-to-week engagement because it builds this. It builds fan engagement.
Right.
It builds people talking about it. I can say that I think Shaw has been kind of devoured more because of this format.
Right.
Where you go, all right, there's Kirk and Picard and Seven. What's new? Oh, that guy's new. Let's talk about him. Right. And people are watching the episode over and over and over again and chewing up every little morsel in it. And so I think that can only be done by this kind of release schedule. And fans then come together around the collective social media campfire and talk about it week to week. And I think it's better for genre entertainment.
Yeah, I've actually noticed the exact same thing. I'm glad you're pointing that out in watching, because we do binge a lot of things. We all do, right? And what I've noticed is characters that might be incredible, new to the game, whatever, if they're not as prominent, whether they go away during the series, whether they're not as prominent, by the time you get to the end, you kind of forgot they were in that season. And that's a real crime, because it used to be you'd get one standalone episode with somebody and you might be like, man, that was the greatest character. And you got that whole week to live in it and it stayed with you.
Yeah.
Whereas now you go right into the next hour and you're like,
it also creates appointment television again, where people are like, I can't wait for Thursday.
Right.
Because they do it with Game of Thrones, Marvel does it, Star Wars does it. It's like, I can't wait. And we all want to gather wherever we are in our households. It doesn't matter what time of the day we watch it, but there are some hardcore people that stay up.
Oh, yeah, they get up at midnight. Trust me, because of
on the East Coast.
because of the podcast network, I have, Nerds Aplenty, and they all do that. I see, or not all, but I see a lot of them putting that on, staying up, getting that first glimpse. Like, I don't want to stay up till 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. I'm 9:30. I'm coming in for a landing.
I got my bourbon. I'm watching Foundation. I'm bringing this thing into.
Bring it in for a landing.
Bring it into the port. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I think it's great that we're doing week to week. It's old school feel. It's like, this is how we consumed entertainment back in the day, and it's better for fans. I'm not saying some shows don't require that. Like, one of my favorite shows is Patriot on Amazon. It's not going to be speculation from week to week and nerddom. It's just brilliant writing, so you want to get to the next chapter of the book.
That was the one that was like 3 seasons, right?
2
seasons. That was
so good.
Brilliant show.
Brilliant show.
Plus, oh my God, his acting.
They're so good.
I mean, like
Ontario Quinn and Deborah Winger. And
I don't know his name, but Cam from Orange is the New Black, the one that plays his brother. Yeah. Isn't it his brother? Oh my God. And he's great on Severance, too. You watch
Cool
Severance,
Rick?
of course, right?
Cool Rick?
Yes,
Yeah.
Cool Rick. Come on, man. Now, he had the wardrobe that I'd want to take home.
The tracksuits. So good.
Oh, it's so good. You watch Severance,
so
right?
I've seen the first episode. My wife
Stop
is like,
it.
it's a lot to bite off at night.
Yeah, you need to watch it.
I know, I will. But yeah, so I like a show like that to me doesn't require a week in between. But I think a show with massive fan bases, that are geek touchstones, I think are much better served if we have that week to engage with each other about it and speculate and fight and all of the things without toxic fighting. But
right.
But like
that water cooler stuff.
Yeah, and I love that. And
it's you and I in the hallway waiting for, I don't remember what we were sitting in the hallway for, but we would sit there next to each other. And I remember us like talking about what's on Saturday Night Live that week and going through every little thing and about how Robert Downey Jr. was going to have no career eventually. I don't know where we got that idea. And how Anthony Michael Hall might be the second coming of Saturday Night Live. I think we were wrong. But I distinctly remember that.
Anything can change.
Anything could happen. That's right.
Yeah.
Anything could happen. But that is what it
Look,
creates.
he was bound for prison at that point.
That's true. That is true.
Not to take anything away from our RDJ, he certainly
he was in a little trouble then.
He pulled himself up and then some.
Yeah. You know him. He's the one. He had the mask and he was shooting.
And shooting?
Yeah, you know that one, right?
No, I wasn't there that day.
No, I didn't think so.
Okay, the most important question. Okay, in your nerd layer there, how long until they install the captain's chair?
Dude, I have asked. So when I went into the Chinese theater to do the premiere, and I saw my costume in a case on a mannequin, I was like, "Oh, that's why they don't let us have anything, because it's now belongs in a museum." It's all now artifacts that they collect. They just did a big retrospective at the Skirball Center, which is a big museum here in Los Angeles, and they had a whole Star Trek exhibit, and you saw all the costumes. This is before I could tell people I was on it. Actually, it was the week I finished. I went then to the Skirball and go, wow, I'm part of this connective history. It was, so yeah, I want that captain's chair. It's so good. So good. So comfy.
Get a 3D printer. You can make one.
3D printer.
Get a 3D printer, Todd. Come on.
Just print it up.
Yeah.
Or I'll find the paper version, like the ships that we got from the motion picture back in the day. They're like foldable paper versions of the ships that were hung in a mobile fashion.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yep.
Do you remember the Star Trek Happy Meal?
Yep. I do.
That was really lame.
Yeah, it was. And I think on the back of it showed like the transporter accident.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm like, that's appetizing.
Oh boy. Hey, is that the microwave? What is that?
Speaking of space meat.
Oh.
See what I did?
You did. Very nice. Yeah. That's why you're a pro.
Yeah, I am.
It's not why you're a pro.
It's the training. The training.
Yeah, the training.
That improv with Rob Southgate really comes in handy, doesn't it?
Yeah, next we're going to do an impression of you, Phil.
Well, good luck.
Awesome.
All right. Well, I was told, Todd, We only had Todd for a limited time. I believe our time is
We got
almost
2
up.
minutes.
2 minutes. All right. We already did this.
What are we closing out with, boys? We're going to close out strong.
Already asked for the spoilers. We already did the chair.
How about this, Phil?
Yes, sir.
Let's let Todd pimp a couple things.
Yes,
We got-
please. Besides,
I know I saw on Instagram, maybe you have a book that you're putting out, or you have
I
out?
wrote a cocktail book
Ooh.
called The Mystic Libation. Mystic Libations, I co-created it with a former Imagineer named Brandon Cleely, who goes by Trader Brandon. He big tiki aficionado and a gamer, like a tabletop gamer, and I brought him into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. He was my shepherd into tiki. We wonder twinned and created a book called Mystic Libations. I wrote all the narrative stuff and the D&D stuff, and my buddy David Nett helped with D&D components. Brandon got his buddy Roy to do all the recipes. Roy is a bartender at Trader Sam's at Disneyland. So they're all bona fide, delicious. And we created a book called Mystic Libations that is available on my website, thenerdcircus.com, where I sell nerdy, geeky wares and nerdy paraphernalia like D&D stuff, dice and dice towers and Mai Tai glasses and T-shirts and from like Supernatural and 12 Monkeys and whatnot. So yeah. So you can find all that at thenerdcircus.com. And if you want to find me on the socials, at Todd Stashwick on Twitter and at T Stashwick on Instagram.
Your Instagram's great, by the way.
Thanks.
I enjoy
Serve
it.
it
You
up.
see, I put a love on there every
Tasty
time. So
All right. Before
You
Lil,
have my back and my front. You have my heart, Rob,
I do.
Right.
I do. And I'll
Treat it
give
well.
them back eventually. But
because it's fragile.
they're still mine now.
I know.
all right. Before Lilith murders me, Todd, would you do me a huge favor and give me a plug where this is Todd Stashwick and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast, and use those improv skills that, throw in whatever you want in there.
Oh, no pressure
make it
there. Hey, this is Todd Stashwick, a.k.a. Captain Liam Shaw of the Starship Titan. And you are listening to Capes and Lunatics with Phil and Rob. The guys sound like drive time DJs. Phil and Rob.
The best part is I'm not on this show, Todd, so that's great.
Everything's up for grabs.
I can cut that out.
What are you talking about? The 101 is backed up again. Auga.
I'm the douche.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Woohoo!
But yes, thank
I
you.
even heard the Wilhelm.
But yes, Todd, thank you so much. I really appreciate you giving me your time. I see you're doing like millions of interviews. So yes, thank you for.
It's so popular, Phil.
I know, and thank you for putting up with Rob while you do it.
Did you just call it the Wilhelm fart? Is
What-
that what you
what?
just made a reference to,
The
Todd?
Wilhelm scream.
Right, but it was right after.
No, I made a fart sound.
and I
then I
thought you
said,
should call it the
insert the
Wilhelm
Wilhelm.
fart. So
So I
now
said-
I think.
We can play it back. I didn't say Wilhelm fart.
Well,
I said the Wilhelm.
I want there to be a Wilhelm fart now.
Ooh, that would hurt. What did he eat?
Whoa! All right, everyone. Yes,
Something on a highbrow.
yes, everyone, go watch Star Trek Picard season 3 for this man right here.
Look at what I'm doing.
Oh,
We did it.
live long and
Yeah,
I had to
prosper.
have training. All right, friends.
Do
Be
it, Phil.
well. Take care.
We'll talk
Bye.
again, Captain, my
Anon,
captain.
anon. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, sir.
Bye, Todd.
All right, thank you, everyone, and come back next time. Live long and prosper.